Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 VC review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Sonic & Knuckles on the Sega Mega Drive, Genesis / depending where you live, etc, etc. But I'm also going to be looking at Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2 and 3 because thankfully this does have the lock-on, it does work, and if you don't know what the lock-on is, then, well, continue watching because I'm going to be mentioning it straight away, review second, lock-on first, because it's the important feature. Basically, on the Mega Drive, the Sonic & Knuckles cart had an opening in the top and you could put the other Sonic games in, and depending on which one you put in depended on what features you got. So going into the operations guide, it does actually explain the features in full, so I'll just put it on just to show you, because as I say, if you don't know, with the first Sonic & Hedgehog you can play new layouts of the Sonic & Knuckles bonus game. With the second Sonic the Hedgehog you can play as Knuckles, and with the third it's pretty much the same thing, you can play as Knuckles. So it is a cool thing to have, and it's one of the most important things about the game, and I'm glad to put it on the VC version because it is one of the most important things. So yeah, you basically push select, which minus button, whatever you want to call it, and then from there, if you've got the other games in your library, you have a choice. So I'll put Sonic 1 on first, just because it's the first. Show a bit of 2 with Knuckles, 3 with Knuckles, then I'll get onto the actual Sonic & Knuckles review. So anyway, you push all 3 buttons to start the minigame off on this, and then it's just the minigames that you get in Sonic & Knuckles, which, because I'm showing them here, I won't show it in that. But the whole point is, these minigames, you've got to do them in order to get the Chaos Emeralds on Sonic & Knuckles, and the Chaos Emeralds obviously alter how you play the game because you'll get new features and new levels and that. So this is the bonus games and you just get tons of new layouts. So yeah, it's worth having Sonic 1 if you don't have it, if you only bought 2 and 3. If you like this minigame when you play it on Sonic & Knuckles, it's worth getting the first one for all the extras that you get with it. So anyway, straight over to Sonic 2, which, as I say, you're just playing as Knuckles on Sonic 2, so not really much point in showing loads of it off or anything. But I'm just going to cut into that and then I'll cut straight into Sonic 3 playing as Knuckles. Right then, on to the Sonic & Knuckles review. Because it's called Sonic & Knuckles, as you can imagine, you get a choice of characters between Sonic and Knuckles, and depending on who you play as, depends on how the game pans out. Sonic has 8 zones, and Knuckles has 6 zones, and, well, you also get a different boss depending on who you play as, because there's 2 acts per zone, and at the end of the first act you get a sub-boss. At the end of the second act you get the proper boss. And if you're Sonic, then you get Eggman, Robotnik, whatever you want to call it. If you're Knuckles, then you get Egg Robo. So I'll show both first bosses off just so you can see the difference. But apart from, well, those bosses and the fact that Knuckles is shorter, his quest is shorter, it's standard Sonic gameplay. So you've got to get rings, and when you get hit you lose rings, and if you get hit with no rings you die. There's flame shields, water shields, electric shields to help you out that all do different things. There's invincibilities, and it's just standard left to right Sonic gameplay where you can spin and jump and do stuff like that. If you play as Knuckles, you've already seen that you can glide and climb on things, and it's probably why I like Knuckles best, because I always liked playing as Knuckles on all the games, so again that's why I like the lock-on feature, because I'd always got to play as Knuckles. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up for a bit, let you listen to some music. I'll cut into the first boss for Sonic and then cut straight into the first boss for Knuckles. So anyway, that was a bit of the music, and as you might have noticed, there's pretty much nothing different other than the picture, so it's just one of those, just a totally different gameplay experience playing as Knuckles. I personally prefer it. It's a shame that he doesn't get the full campaign, but it still is long enough to play through his, and considering you're getting the 2 campaigns in one technically, then it's definitely worth the money, especially if you own the other Sonic games and you've never experienced the lock-on feature before. So yeah, nothing really left to say other than that graphically it looks brilliant and I absolutely love it. I can't wait until I get to beat it for about the 1,000,000th time, because it is my favourite Sonic game. So there we go then, that's been the review. I hope you've enjoyed it, or at least found it helpful. You might have noticed I didn't score the game. Well, that's because it's a matter of personal opinion, and yours may very well differ from my own. I'm just here to show you a bit about the game. If you like it or not, well, that's up to you. If you don't like it, or you do like it, feel free to comment. Also, if I haven't answered any of your questions that you may have had, I might have forgot something, or it might just be something obscure. Again, feel free to comment, ask, always willing to help out. Otherwise, if you don't like commenting on YouTube, head over to www.vc-forums.com, where you can chat with me and a bunch of other lads who love the VC, the WiiWare, and hell, even a lot of other systems. We cater to pretty much everything. You can just go there, have a chat about a game, ask about some games, etc. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.